Speaking repeat sentence guided practice. Let's begin the session. Now, this is a simple enough question type. The idea of this guided practice is mainly to reinforce the steps that we discussed and to see, with the help of examples, some common mistakes that people make and how we can avoid those. I'll play the question for you. So I'll first give you some time to attempt the question. After that, once you do that, then we will look at the sample response, and in the end, we'll have a discussion. So at the end of each question, we'll discuss that question in detail. Here's your first question. I'll play the audio.
We needed no password or to circumvent any other type of security to do this.
Okay. Have you recorded your response? Let me show you what it was. This is what the sentence was. We needed no password or to circumvent any other type of security to do this. So the method that we had discussed was that be alert. There are a few seconds before which the audio starts playing. So in that, just make sure that you're alert. And then when you are listening, try to capture phrases, not just the words. So in your mind, needed no password, circumvent any security. Those are the kind of things which you should pay attention to, try to remember, rather than just try to memorize individual words, needed, password, no, or to circumvent, because that becomes too much. And if you hear the speaker emphasize on any word, so I'll play this again.
We needed no password.
So as you can see, when he said no password, he put emphasis on. And as soon as the sentence ends, the microphone will open up and then you have to repeat. For these questions, I do not recommend that you take notes. Just try to keep it in your mind. So phrases, needed no password, circumvent security, right? So if you have this in mind, then when you start speaking, you can combine them. We needed no password to circumvent any other type of security. And the more accurately you respond, the better it will be. When you note down the words where the speaker was putting emphasis on, first of all, it will make sure that you remember the important words in the text. And second, it also makes you sound more natural, because then when you give your response, you can also put emphasis on those words. For example, when I spoke, I said it like, we needed no password. So I did what the speaker was doing. This does not mean that you have to try to imitate the accent. That's not required. The more words that you can speak accurately, the higher your score will be in this question type. Next question now. Shall I play the audio? All right, here we go.
I want you to keep track of this and simply fill in the blanks.
This is what the sentence was. I want you to keep track of this and simply fill in the blanks. We have discussed in the past that when you are listening to something, your goal should be to understand that. And to do that, you try to capture phrases, and along with that, you visualize. So you sort of draw a picture in your mind. I want you to keep track of this and simply fill in the blanks. So when you hear this in your mind, you will hear somebody sitting on a desk, maybe a student attempting a fill-in-the-blanks question. Or you'll see a teacher, and on the blackboard, she has written a fill-in-the-blanks question. It makes remembering much easier. Shall we go to the next question? Here's the question. I'll play the audio.
In countries like Australia and the UK, around half of all cancer patients are treated using radiotherapy.
This is what it was. In countries like Australia and the UK, around half all cancer patients are treated using radiotherapy. Now, if I have to ask you, how did you go about this question? The only thing that I need to know is, did you visualize? Were you able to remember? See, the only way, and in my experience, the easiest way to remember it accurately is to draw a picture in your mind. So as if you close your eyes, and when you hear with each word, you try to picture something. So when it says in countries like Australia and the UK, you maybe see the flags, or you just see if something from Australia and the UK, and then you see a hospital with patients undergoing radiotherapy. Yeah. Then, of course, you are also paying attention, you are listening, you have understood that this is about the treatment of cancer patients. And then when you speak, it's as if you are looking at that picture in your mind that you visualized, and you're speaking from that. All right. So that's the skill that you need to practice. This is useful in repeat sentence. It's very useful in almost all the questions in the listening section. Let's go to the final question. In this practice session, let me play it for you.
We have 51 indicators drawn from trusted sources to measure these concepts.
We have 51 indicators drawn from trusted sources to measure these concepts. As we said, try to remember the phrases, not just individual words. All right? That's the first session. Make sure you spend sufficient time practicing on your own. And if you find it difficult to remember, then that's what the practice is for. Follow the steps, try to visualize, and you'll see once you have done 10, 20 questions, you'll feel much better.